This question bothers me more than I care to admit, especially after watching other magic users at work. My only explanation could be that different magical links use unique energies or wavelengths. Similar to how different rocks can burn different colors, different people give off different colors of magic. This theory is up in the air, so don't expect any report. From Magical Musings, entry 37. Continued. So, um, yeah, y'all are back in the tavern. We're gonna go back. We'll pick up with Sin and what he did later when Nate returns. But for now, what would y'all like to do? Y'all are just in this tavern. Y'all just finished talking with this interesting Wade fellow.
Tombstone will lean back at the table that we're sitting at. Look over to Havel, who has just completed this contraption thing, right? Look over to him. Go, so Havel.
Yes, Tombstone.
Seems to be a night for stories. Why don't you tell me one about yourself?
I don't want to tell stories right now. I just fixed this piece of garbage. What do you want to know?
Oh, that's a great question. What do I want to know? Well, you're kind of the newest member to our party.
Am I? Oh.
I believe you
Right.
are.
I think so.
We met you in the tower.
That's right.
I have roots all the way back in the city that is damp.
I forget Sen was been around longer than I have. I met him in the tower, and I thought y'all may have as well. So.
Oh, actually, that's fair. I didn't know Sin before either. But history-wise, you're the newest. So
I am the newest. Yes.
What did you used to do before you traveled and were doing that thing for Isha?
I was a military man of sorts.
Interesting.
As he starts cleaning his gun.
What does of sorts mean?
It means it wasn't a traditional army. You see, I was a part of. Yes.
Like
see,
a band of mercenaries.
Yes, quite exactly that. Yes, I was a part of a mercenary
why didn't you
group.
just say so?
Because I'm quite ashamed of that part of my past, actually.
Really? I used to sell my sword all the time.
Well, some of us have more pride than that.
Okay, that was a low blow.
Forgive me, Tombstone. Forgive me, Tombstone. Forgive me. Forgive me.
To be fair, I was selling my sword not out of my own will, but out of necessary need to collect gold for a fearsome beast. Yeah. Tombstone trails off. Anyways, Havel, tell me about
Tombstone.
your family.
No.
Fair enough.
I'm sorry. Out of character. I'm sorry. No.
Just trying to make conversation. Well, Havel, do you believe in anything interesting? Gods or dragons or nature?
I don't give much thought to deities or. I do believe in dragons based on the word of mouth and the stories. Clearly, your testimony. Deities, I truly have. I don't think I've ever actually given it a thought. Too much of my time has been spent honing in my skills and spending time appeasing my family. Actually, no. I believe I do not believe in any deities.
Yeah.
Or trust those if they do exist. Do you?
Fair enough. I don't per se believe in gods, but there is the divine spirit.
Define the divine spirit, because the only spirit I know is your own will.
Well, it's the great purple dragon, of course.
The purple dragon is the divine spirit?
Yeah, interchangeable. Some people, yeah, yeah. I'd say I think of the purple dragon less of as a god, but more of a divine spirit, just like a categorically.
Sure, I think I understand.
Like he doesn't rule over the world or claim to create it, but he is a being of immense power that some worship or revere.
When you say you believe in something, do you mean that I believe it exists, or do you mean that I trust in it or actively pursue it?
There is a difference, isn't there?
I believe there is.
There is a. I believe that this purple dragon used to roam these lands, and that he went up into the stars, as the legends say. But I also believe I trust that the things that he left behind are indeed real.
I see.
And so I pay homage to this great purple dragon. Not to say that I worship him for anything that he provides, but
Sure. I ask because I'm trying to think of what I believe in. I don't have faith in many things. Not anymore, that is. Or ever haven't had a chance to.
So, why are you traveling with us, Havel?
Because Isha assigned me to travel with you. And Isha being my mentor, I will do as he says. Also, in another sort of sense, kind of my boss. My commanding officer. Remember, I am a member of the Arid Order.
And, Havel, what have you, learned in your time traveling with us?
In my time traveling with you. Well, a lot of things. But overall, the overarching idea, I guess I could say, that I've learned is... How do I put this into words? I'm those who are much weaker. How do I put that into words? How would you put that into words, Tombstone?
I'm sorry, you have to repeat yourself. The
airwaves.
Phrase that I started.
The tavern got a little loud there for a second.
I started drifting off. I missed your last phrase.
You see, what I was saying was I don't... Well, with the fact that I have a lack of faith in anyone or anything, I'm starting to learn how to have faith in those around me, in a sense. And distrust authority, I guess? I'm not sure. You're asking me very hard questions that I haven't really given much thought before.
Fair enough. I did have that effect on people. Confounding and confusing them is one of my specialties.
Trust me, I know.
We just seem to, this party, these people I noticed recently, we've accumulated a lot of distrust.
Yes.
More of a negative outlook on the world, and reflecting on my own actions here recently, I've realized that's part of myself too.
Right.
I was just wondering why. So
that is a great
I figured
question.
the best way to find out would be ask the hard questions.
Well, I can tell you I came into this party with a severe lack of trust, and I still don't trust the entire party. I trust you, Tombstone,
And why
I-
is that you trust me?
because you have proven yourself multiple times. You have proven your ferocity in battle and your care for your family, which you have so kindly called us. Your loyalty to us, even though you should have no loyalty at all. You are a kobold after all. I trust you, Tombstone. I like you.
Yeah. Thanks. But I playing the, devil's advocate here. Words are
Okay.
just words. I can
Sure.
say whatever I want. How do you know that they're true?
Well, you've killed yourself for us multiple times.
I don't know if that necessarily proves my loyalty because I kind of wanted to die.
Sure. Well, from my limited understanding of your curse and what's going on, it seems to me you care.
I'm not saying that I don't. I'm not trying to convince you of that. I'm just trying to see what is trust? How does one build trust? And what is leadership? How does one lead? What is
There are a
faith?
lot of things that
And
go into
what should
leadership.
one believe in? What is the purpose of life? Why are we here?
I can only answer one of those questions, and that is what leadership is. I have had a lot of experience with that in my life, given my name being Havel Talum. But everything else, I would say I'm ignorant to. Faith, trust, I guess, is the same thing. All the things you listed, essentially.
So if I may be blunt, who
Yes.
is it in our party that you don't trust?
I'm sorry. Every freaking week, and I've known him for the past 2 years. I forget his name, and I have to remember it. Karu?
There it is.
that right?
You got it.
Karu, I do not trust. Ultimately, because he has proven himself untrustworthy as a leader. As a man, I trust him. As a friend, I can also lean into him, but as a leader, I cannot. Not based on what I've seen. Whoever this Zalgrim person is has yet to prove their trust to me, or prove themselves to me.
Yeah, who needs two lizards in one party anyway?
I don't know Briar too well. I trust her enough in battle. I don't know her well, though, so it is hard to say.
I think we found out that she doesn't know who she is.
Maybe so. Phelan I trust. Now, how much Phelan asked, apparently multiple times.
Tavern got a little loud again. Can you repeat that?
Phelan I trust quite a bit in battle, at least, and I trust him to make sure we do the right thing in a moral sense. That could be to a fault, and there I may lose trust in him. Thunar I trust when it comes to his morality and his loyalty. I don't trust his brain all too well. Cade. I said Cade. Eitri. I trust his ability with darts. And
I'm glad to know you trust me.
I do trust you, Cade. Eitri, I trust with darts. And honestly, he brings good vibes. I don't know Sen. I can't tell you a thing about Sen. I don't trust him yet. Is there anyone I'm missing?
Oh, only the most important member of our party.
Hmm.
The Lady Ikley.
Ah, yes. I trust Ikley. I don't know
Really?
why. I just get
She's
a feeling
kind of
that
a
she
wild
is trustworthy.
card. She's
She
kinda
is a wild
crazy.
card, but she has proven her
She
wits in
has
battle.
a mean streak in her. I find it adorable.
It
but,
seems that
other people would find that untrustworthy.
It seems like Interesting.
See, there's-
I trust her wits in battle, I guess. I guess every time I trust someone, it's because of their actions in
Does
combat.
seem like a common theme of can
Common
they
theme.
protect you?
Can they protect me,
Will
or
I
do they have
will
my
I
back?
trust them to watch my back? Seems like a
Yes.
common theme.
Yes. The only other thing I would say I've noticed in all of these things is just moral compass. Phelan tends to bring that to the table. Clearly, I don't always lean into a moral mindset on some of these things. It's interesting you keep asking me these questions because I don't think about this much.
Who's to say what is right and what is wrong? I mean, from the
Well-
dragon's point of view, maybe we are evil.
Sure. Do you think there's any hope in this world, Tombstone?
I used to think so.
It's something I wish I could say I do believe in. That there is good in people, that there is a light at the end of the tunnel, but it seems to me that every time we come across someone who seems like they would be trustworthy or they're in a position of power, or even just a random civilian, they tend to bring something that burdens us and causes suffering for the rest of the populace. It's kind of a bitter world we live in.
Hope really is
It's hard into
a
me.
fickle thing. Disappears when you most need it, and comes back when you don't expect it to return.
Well, I've yet to see it come back in many years.
I was thinking the same thing until I met these fellas. Although, initially I was planning on taking them and offering them as sacrifices to the dragon, but we'll just brush over that.
Oh. I won't say it if you won't. Okay.
Well, I was thinking, if one wants to die, well, what's a great way to try? Just attack the dragon with all your might, and if you win, haha, you won. And if not, you're dead. And if I bring him some adventurers with loot and gold, he might be satisfied with my service and then dismiss me. But I couldn't do that anymore.
Again, trustworthy.
Who knows? I could be playing you all for fools, and this would be my plan the whole time.
I feel like I could read you, Tombstone, better than that.
You're right. I've always worn my heart on my sleeve.
But what we don't know is that his curse technique gets stronger if he just tells us his plan.
I really want to test this Tombstone, this new doodad I put on my hand cannon. Do you think there's a place we could do that on this ship?
Oh, I think we're probably gonna run into trouble anywhere that thing goes off on this ship. But I'm always down for a good time.
Gentlemen, high or low?
Both of us answering it with the same one, or just two different answers? High, always.
Okay.
Oh,
Ooh. You just so happen to remember people talking about the first night of this trip, a fireworks show.
Who remembers it?
You do, Havel.
You see, Tombstone, one thing I remember, actually. I feel quite clever for this. First night of a trip, a fireworks show. there must be a stockade somewhere of these fireworks, and maybe we could set them off to mask both the sound and scent of my hand cannons.
Or we could just wait till the fireworks show starts and do it then.
I'm losing patience.
All right, fair enough. I'll go find a watermelon.
What is this the first night, Seth?
Yes.
So is it gonna go off soon?
It's nighttime.
Okay.
You need a target to shoot at, right?
Yes. We could probably
so I'll
invade
find
the kitchen.
something roughly the shape of a human head.
What if it was a Goliath-shaped head?
Well, we can find a larger watermelon.
That's what I want. I want to know what this does.
All right, I'm gonna walk into the tavern bar, and just push my way past the back
Whoever
doors and go into the kitchen.
All right. So nobody notices you as you walk in.
All right, I'll rummage around, and what can I find? Is
roll.
as far as a watermelon goes.
Yeah, roll an investigation for me real quick.
Sorry for hitting you with no earlier,
No, I
Colton.
don't care. That makes so much sense.
Tell me about your family. No.
No.
Okay.
I mean, I probably would have said the same thing if you guys had asked me earlier. So,
Tell me about
investigation. That is a 2.
A 2.
Yikes. Yeah.
You don't find any sort of watermelon, but you do find some bottles.
Oh, that'll work. Thing's a brick.
Got like
I'll
3 or 4
scrounge
bottles.
up the bottles and head back out.
I swear if this gives my bullets explosive payload, I'd be so happy.
All right.
Tombstone, what did you find?
I found some bottles.
Bottles, okay.
I'm afraid there are no watermelons to be found.
Ah, so unfortunate. I don't even like watermelons.
Melons of water.
Feels like a waste of space in my stomach. Okay,
Good hydration quality, though.
true. Where could we find an empty area?
The so like the top deck is has your lounge kind of social areas. If you'd walked outside, a lot of them are kind of congregating on the what is the front end of a boat called? Leighton's not here to
The
tell.
bow?
Prow. Yeah.
Prow. Interesting.
A lot of them are kind of up on the prow or near that area as they're so they're on the prow but they're facing toward the back to look at the fireworks that are going to be shot off.
Mm-hmm.
But the back of the prow that's equally as open and flat. There's not a lot of people there, mainly just workers that are there setting up the fireworks. While they consider this, anybody else want to do anything? I'll take silence as happiness.
Okay. What room is Phelan in?
Whatever room.
Yeah, I'd say would I room, dude. That was nice. I got on camera. I got on.
Thanks.
got
I
on
know.
mic.
What?
Oh, I know. Word.
Room 131. How about that?
Tombstone, I'd like to grab Phelan. Maybe he's cooled off by now.
If there is would there be maybe a little library on this ship? It's a luxury cruise.
Ooh, there would be a quote unquote library area. You know, those coffee shop bookstores that are really tiny and are just places that women go to take Instagram posts and that's about it. There's one of those there.
Okay,
It's
I found one.
more
Did you
you have
just say
to
library?
provide your own book.
Yeah,
bring
it's
your own
it's
book.
the cup of coffees are that, literally 2 sips and you're done and they're worth $50.
Oh.
Okay, I
Oh,
found.
no.
I have found my way there with a nice glass of something strong from the bar, and I'm sitting there and I'm reading some notes that I have. Just some stuff from my bag.
Hey, am I the only one that thought I just heard Seth say library?
I think so.
Yeah.
You may
Dang.
have wanted him to have said library so we could make fun of him, which would be awesome.
I almost am glad I didn't, because if I did, oh boy. Oh no.
Well, I would like to find Phelan because I feel like showing him my doodad might make him
Happy.
intrigued.
Join me, your what?
Your
Havel, I don't swing like that.
I'm assuming you're not like trying to.
No,
Yeah.
I'm just away from the group, sitting
Mhm.
here doing my stuff. So
Roll a perception then.
it's probably like my second drink.
Me?
Yeah.
I'm definitely outside of the bar though, so like I'm in a whatever different area it would
Yeah,
be.
I'm saying if Havel goes looking for Phelan,
17.
I feel like that'd be good enough to find Phelan, just like through the
Okay.
window.
I kind of like catch him out of the corner of my eye as I'm going to
Yeah.
his room.
Yeah, I'm not hiding anywhere. So.
Ha, Phelan.
Mm.
I hate to disturb you, but I also would quite like to disturb you. You see, I finished my doodad.
Okay. Yeah.
I want to try it. And I
Are
figured
you-
you might want to see it.
Are you sure that's a good idea? We are on a
Look, Phelan.
isolated ship in the middle of
Phelan.
water. That we
There is
totally
a
stuck
fireworks
on.
show tonight. Everyone will be above deck. We could find maybe a long hallway, place some bottles, or place it on a balcony. And while the fireworks show is going off, we could try it. I
All right.
would like to try this.
If you'd
Also, when
rather
I
do
go
some light reading, Tombstone reaches into his bag and he says, "I think I got something for you," and pulls out Volume 31 of the History of the Jaded Wilds.
Tombstone, that's very thoughtful of you. If I hadn't already read that one twice, I probably would choose to read that one.
Rats, I thought you needed this because I stole it from you. I mean, I borrowed it from you earlier.
No,
Puts it
I
back.
usually keep my favorite volumes around. But if there's a fireworks show, then as long as we don't destroy anything or draw attention to
no.
ourselves,
No.
we're fine.
I can't
I
imagine.
just don't want to. I just want you to remember we did sneak onto the ship, so we don't want to get in trouble.
I can't imagine Isha would craft anything for me to place on my hand cannon that would destroy anything.
The limited interactions I've had with Isha, I don't know what to expect from that man. So
Neither do I, and I've known him for 4 years. 5? 5.
I'm
Something of
not
the
gonna
sort.
stop you. I'll come with you. But
Hey, on a good note, Phelan, this is
Mhm.
a sign of trust.
What do you mean, Tombstone? Of course I trust
We
you
were
guys.
talking about trust earlier.
Oh yeah, well I'm just exploring the idea of what is trust. How does one garner trust and why is it there? Because it seems like that is a common theme for our party right now. And so
Okay.
Phelan, I trust you.
Well, thank you, Tombstone. I trust you too.
And I think Havel also trusts you because he said
I
so.
do.
And because he
Yes,
wanted to
yes,
bring you
Tombstone.
along for these shenanigans.
Well, that's very much appreciated. I trust both of you. I trust all of you in our group.
Well, do you happen to know where Briar and Eitri are?
I have no idea where
I
anybody
think
is after
Eitri
I
would've
walked out of
been-
the
I
room.
think Eitri would have been still with y'all in the.
Did
tavern.
Eitri follow us? Is Eitri hanging with us?
Is Eitri hanging with them?
That's for you to decide.
Do you want to see them shoot bottles?
I think Eitri wants to see bottles being shot.
Eitri, do you know where Briar may be?
I don't think so.
No, I don't remember.
Well-
Did Briar walk out during the tavern
Um,
conversation?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, then she would have been with y'all as well.
Did you
I think
follow us as well, Briar?
She's sitting down and she's drawing.
She doesn't care.
No, she's not paying attention to anybody.
Okay.
So wait, so you came with
Alright.
us? So you're in the coffee shop with me drawing while
Yeah.
we're talking about this.
Yeah.
Briar, would you like to come with us? Shoot a hand cannon?
Yeah. Let me just finish this doodle real quick. I'll
I
be
look
What's
over
behind
drawn
you.
there?
Yeah, I wanted to see what she's drawing.
It's just a bunch of scratch markings.
Oh,
Hmm.
interesting.
Abstract art.
Are you okay, Briar?
Interesting.
They say
I
you can
will
know a
be.
lot about a person
this,
based on their artistic expression.
I think it looks like a like a bat with a dagger stabbing a buffalo.
How did you know?
Really? I got it right.
Wow.
Fantastic.
I was going to say it looked like a feral midwife. but
Well,
It is also that.
you
know-
drew two things at once.
How is that possible?
Abstract art.
I see.
However it speaks to you. That is what the drawing is.
why
Well, I
don't?
bet
How
the
about?
fireworks show's about to start. Yes, Phelan?
How about?
Sorry.
How about the three of you? And I'll point to each tree, tombstone, and have a. Why don't you go ahead and go find a safe spot for us to test your weapon? Briar and I will meet up with you. We'll make sure that nobody's around.
Okay.
You
So,
got it.
Sounds like a
the
plan.
spot. I'd like to go find a place to.
All right, they.
I'd like to assist him in finding the place.
All right,
Mm,
roll an investigation, y'all two, as they all walk out.
I'm just gonna give
Third
him
place.
advantage.
Fair enough.
Yeah. I'll stay with
okay, dirty 20 is the one without the advantage, and then rolling again. Let's go with dirty 20.
All right, dirty 20.
So yeah, I'm gonna stay behind, and I'm not going to walk out of the coffee shop. Not quite yet.
All right.
So with Briar. Briar, are you
Yes,
okay?
Barry?
You know,
I think
I
so.
know you and I just. Well, I know that Aegis was important to both of us. And,
Yeah,
well,
he was.
no, kind of betrayed us, and turned out to be one of the biggest pieces of shit I've ever known. So much for a substitute father. Big old swig of whatever I've got sitting next to me.
I guess I've just got so much noise in my head right now, it's kind of hard to be present.
That's fair. Well, if it's any consolation, I don't not upset or anything about you trying to stab me. No, if that's weighing on your mind at all.
I'm glad you're not upset about that.
I mean, I know it's definitely not gonna be something that's probably super easy to go through, but I just want you to know that I don't blame you for it.
Well, thank you. And I'm sure you're aware, but I really wasn't in control.
You're good. I mean, Aegis was important to both of us, and apparently all we were just a couple of projects to him.
Yeah.
One to take over the government, and one to stop the weapon from getting out of hand.
What do you think your purpose is, Phelan?
I don't know. I don't know anymore. I used to think it was to harness my abilities, and to save the Jaded Wilds when I joined the task force, and now I just well, feel like I'm lucky if I can see tomorrow.
Yeah. That's a good way of looking at it.
So, but I figured I'd check on you too. I figure we're both kind of in the middle of this whole Aegis situation.
Yeah.
Speaking of, how did you meet Aegis? I mean, you were never. I don't ever remember seeing you whenever I was working with him. But then again, I also never looked up for my books half the time.
Don't really remember. I've created many memories at this point, and I'm not sure what's true anymore. Seth, do you know how I met Agus?
I'd say probably similar to Phelan. While you weren't like actively trying to learn more about magic, he would have been the one to approach you because of your history, your background. He would have heard about you and then approached you and pretty much almost as if like offering a job took you in, or would have taken
To
you in.
that.
Well, what did you do? What did you do before? I never saw you in the research laboratory, so unless you had in other places, but
That is a really big question. I'm not sure I'm ready to answer yet.
fair enough. Fair enough. There's a lot going on, so that's all right.
Maybe one day.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like most of us don't really know much about each other at this point, and we've been traveling together for so long.
I'm sure you'll find out eventually. If no one else does.
No, I take that as a compliment, I guess.
Of course.
But well, I probably should go meet up with the others
Yeah, that's a good idea.
before they get us kicked off the boat.
Havel,
Yes.
Tombstone, E-Tree, you find yourselves a perfect little balcony. Near the edge, like near the back of the boat, there's like one of like those hallways or like walkways on the edge that like curves around the back, and it kind of opens up into a wide kind of area that makes for a perfect shooting range.
Seems like the spot. Tombstone, do you have the bottles?
Of course.
How many did you grab?
Like 4?
Perfect. Yes, that may work. All right. Let's line them up on the balcony then.
Alright,
And then I'm gonna start placing
so
them on
like
the-
set him up on the balcony, like nice evenly spaced, like measuring. Pulls up a length of his tail to measure in between the bottles. Make sure they're perfectly set up.
I'm going to take 10 paces, 20 paces back. Is that something I can do? What's the furthest back I can go?
I'd say about 10 to 12.
So 12 feet back is like the what? The wall?
Yeah, it would be like the wall area of the back of the ship.
Okay, so
opens up.
at 10 feet, I'm going to take my dagger and cut a line in the carpet.
Just a little. Yeah.
And I'm going to position my toes at the edge of the line, and then I'm going to get into position. But when did the fireworks start going off, Seth?
The fireworks have not yet gone off. I'll
Seems like we have
I'll
time to
assume,
wait.
Shortly after, Phelan and Briar will join.
What's his face? Wade is anywhere around us, is he?
Wade is nowhere around.
Okay, he's
You'll
the
figure
only.
out what
He's really like,
You'll figure out what
he's
he's
like
doing
the
when
only- he's-
Nate gets back.
he's like the only one that I actually like that Phelan actually looks for to make sure isn't around.
He's not around.
I mean, he doesn't make sure that nobody else is either, but like
He specifically looks for him.
specifically looks for Wade, Mr. W-A-Y-D. Stupid way to spell a Wade name. No wonder I just should be. This guy is bad news. He spells his name funny. I'm kidding. I'm teasing. His name is great. I love him.
Agus had a funny spelling name. He was evil.
Foolproof plan.
Anyway, so as Briar and Phelan approach.
So sorry about that, guys.
Oh, you're good.
That's fine.
You're good.
Mm-hmm.
It's fine.
Who's here?
Phelan and Briar approaches. You'll hear above y'all, kind of on the back of the ship, the distinctive little booms of fireworks starting to. You hear the first soft boom of them going up in the air, and then a larger boom of them exploding in the sky. And kind of in front of you, like the water in front of you, reflect off the kind of colors and display of the fireworks above you all.
Okay. It seems it's time. So I'd like to get ready in position.
All right.
I'm going to have my hand cannon on my hip. Is it
Right.
only one of them that has this
Only
little
one of them
doodad
right
on it?
now.
Okay. And as the fireworks go off, I'd like to draw my weapon.
All right.
I'd like to do a quick draw.
That's perfect.
Shooting puddles.
Roll to hit 6 times.
Huh?
What? What? That's a 13. That is a 24. That is another 24. That is a 21. That is a 23. And finally, a 29.
Jesus.
All right. Yeah. So so you pull it out. You aim for the first bottle, right?
Mm-hmm.
And as you shoot, the bottle, explodes into into glass. As another shot rings right after it, whizzing by. The remaining 4 shots you can now choose amongst the rest of your targets.
Hold on. So with one shot from my hand cannon, does that just give me
So
double tap from Black Ops, essentially? I'm confused.
I was about to say, so in more terms, what you're essentially doing is like a fan the hammer, shoot 6 shots, and you can choose 6 different targets.
Is this once per turn?
So it'll empty, so you'd have to reload afterwards. So yeah, you have to take an action to reload. So it's like,
What about with my gunner feet preventing that action?
so that'd be a bonus action. I think it is to reload. So you would you could then shoot, bonus action reload, and then do it again. Because of one, it's homebrew.
Well, the gunner feet prevents me from having to reload.
Oh, just straight up?
Yes.
Oh, then yeah, you can technically fan the hammer twice then, easily. So
Okay.
essentially, think of it as magic missile, but with bullets. And you have to roll hit.
And then how many times do I roll damage?
So it would be pretty much like each time you hit is just 1 damage roll. Like a typical attacking damage roll for you.
You're just getting
You're mag dumping, essentially. It's a
You're just
I'm
getting
confu-
6 attacks in one.
yes.
Is what you're getting.
So how much damage am I doing?
It's the normal damage. It's
What's your
just
normal
6
damage?
different attacks.
What's your normal damage? Like if you were to shoot normally, what would the damage
1d10 plus 4.
So it would be 1d10 plus 4 for every one of those 6 attacks.
So I'm attacking 6 times,
Oh,
essentially.
Yes.
Yes.
Holy hell! What the frick?
You actually surgeon.
Ethan was like, does not compute. It's too
I just-
busted.
I honestly, so I had it right in my brain. I was just like, what the frick?
Yeah, so the
Ethan was
idea is
away.
like it pretty much increases
Yeah.
the rate at which the cylinder can spin. So you like
Yeah.
fan the hammer, mag dump.
So how many times can he do this per long rest?
Ethan was like,
What's
this
the
is too
chance of his
busted.
gun
Couldn't do
breaking
this.
in the middle of doing that?
Where's the limitation?
If I roll a natural 1.
So
If
the
I roll a
limitation
natural 1,
was
I guess.
the natural one would cause a misfire. But the limitation was going to be you had to like reload it, so you could only do it once per turn, and that'd be pretty much be your entire action. But I forgot about the gunner feat. So
I feel like he should still have to reload it, to be completely honest.
honestly,
It's
I might just
special.
implement an overheat method to where he has to like wait for it to get.
So then I have
doodad
to then
on
I
his gun
have to use my offhand weapon.
Yeah. So you could fan the hammer.
I'm
and
okay
use
with
your
that,
offhand weapon and
but I
shoot.
don't. Yeah, that's okay. Like if that gun overheats from it, and then that's fine. And I still essentially keep the gunner feet. I'm just overusing the gunner feet.
Yeah, that's
if you
that's
will.
a good.
I'm
that's a
fine
good
with
one.
that. Let's do it.
All right.
Keeping track of that will be hard,
So
but
basically, just once per turn, he can use the fan.
Also, I
fan
like
hammer.
the idea that Havel's calling it a doodad for 1 of 2 reasons. 1, that's just the name he came up with it, or 2, because on the blueprints, Isha wrote down doodad.
Idru would put down doodads.
That's what's like. It's entirely within character for him to write down a doodad Mark 1.
And that is the name Havel would have given it. That's why I started saying that. But also, Isha probably would have said it too. Is the
Mhm.
thing.
That's really funny. The doodad. So what is this weapon called? The doodad.
Tombstone, come here.
Yeah. What you need?
So I would say. So,
Try it out.
That was wild. Wait, you want me to?
I want you to try it.
All right. What do you want me to do, Seth? How do I fire this gun? I've only done it twice before, and the first time I shot my face off.
Point this end away and at the bottles.
Oh, I will
The
say, did
Tombstone
you?
does like the gun safety thing where like he accidentally sweeps the whole.
Oh, he tags
Okay.
everyone. He flags
As he
everyone.
turns around. Yeah.
Keep this end not pointed at any of your allies or any civilians for that matter.
Right.
Or anyone.
Like not
Just at
pointing
what-
a drawn bow. Like,
Yes, just
oh.
as something you want to
that
destroy.
makes sense.
All right,
The
yeah,
drawn
right.
bow.
All right. It's so confusing because it doesn't feel like this thing has like any kind of tension or pointy end. So
All right. Yeah, he's holding it with two hands.
I'm
Like,
gonna try to teach him how to fan.
all
the
right.
gun.
Then roll a dex check because I think that's just what it's gonna be. Just a d20 plus
Alright,
dex.
for me.
No, for Tombstone, but take it with advantage
Mhm.
because you have Havel helping you out here.
all right. That's a 16.
16. So he helps you. He teaches you about these weird notches on the top that apparently is
Mhm.
supposed to be for aiming. And so you point it, and you like squeeze this weird little like fin thing that kind of juts out from the bottom. Don't really know what that's for, but he tells you to squeeze that. And as you do, the object erupts in your hands, right? As a loud boom accompanies the fireworks
Oh.
above. As the bottle in front of you just explodes into glass.
What the dragon? I've done that before, but that was epic.
How many more bottles do we have, and how many more shots do we have?
So, unless you like targeted another bottle with like your first initial kind of dump, you have 2 bottles left because you destroyed 2, and there's 2 remaining.
Well, I was gonna let others try it.
Then go right ahead.
Hold on, I'll be right back. I'm gonna go get more bottles.
Okay. Give me the hand cannon. Don't run off with it.
Oh yeah, here. he like points it straight at you as he hands it to you.
Tombstone. Do that.
As Tombstone runs off to get more bottles, everyone begins to take turns shooting his strange hand cannon. Meanwhile, Sin.
Sorry.
So you were following Wade, correct?
Yes.
You were invisible too, correct? If I remember
Correct.
correctly. Yeah, so you're invisibly following Wade as he
Uh,
leaves the tavern. So a little bit of a flashback or rewind. He walks. He kind of with his pack over his shoulder. He's kind of jovially walks out of the tavern and starts walking through the walkways as people are bustling around as they're engaging on their late night activities. And he's walking. He's keeping to mainly like main walkways. He's not in really any isolated part of the ship yet.
right.
And as he's walking, he keeps going, stops, kind of looks around at an intersection, turns on his heel and goes a different direction. And he eventually makes it to what is like a small little restaurant on the ship. Walks up to the hostess, and they kind of look at him expectingly. He's like, "Oh, table for 2, please." They kind of nod and then walk over and show him to a small little table with two chairs there. Walks there. They offer a menu. He's like, "Oh, no, thank you." Sits down, like pulls the chair out from the other side as well. Sits down on his, scoots back up, and begins to like kind of adjust things on his table, like making sure all the forks are straight, make sure the the little centerpiece is nice and organized. And then he finally sits there, waits a bit. A waiter comes up, asks for his order, and he says, "Oh, I'll have 2 of the layer cakes, please." Is that? And they nod. "Thank you. That'll be all. Nothing to drink yet." And then he walks
He's,
away.
he's too clean. He put everything neatly. He's a villain. Kill him! Kidding, I'm kidding, I'm
And
kidding.
he's
Sorry.
sitting there.
Is he carrying an apple or an android?
He's sitting there, waiting. And he looks to you, Sin. You could sit if you'd like.
I turn. I'm not gonna do that. I just normal halfling self, and I get a chair. Waiter, booster seat, please. Thank you.
You can, if
No.
you want to stay invisible, that's perfectly fine. I've talked to myself before. I wouldn't be embarrassed about it.
Wade. You're an impressive character.
Thank you. It means a lot for a storyteller.
That's the thing. You know a lot.
Thank you again.
And people in my sphere of influence, we value such knowledge.
Makes sense. Probably why you've made it this far.
But we don't value when other people are trying to get after our knowledge.
Also makes sense. Also, will explain why you made it this far, or how you've made it this far.
So, I guess what I'm saying is, without any of the riddles, why are you so inquisitive about the starlight shards?
The waiter kind of approaches, puts down 2 plates of the of like a nice little like chocolate layered cake. Nate, are you invisible still or no?
I'm not invisible anymore.
Okay, then he'll set it in front of you as well, like one in front of Wade, one in front of, and then before he walks off, Wade will kind of take a fork and kind of start cutting and eating the cake. Because I don't know what they are.
Interesting.
I can tell they're
How
important.
about an information trade?
Oh, I love trades.
You tell me the lore and everything about where you're from, and I tell you why the starlight shards are so important.
Wade kind of sighs as he leans back. You want all the lore of where I'm from?
Yeah, supposed perspective, if you will.
Oh, my good sir. If you want that, I believe we'd be here until the sun comes up. Quite possibly longer. Actually, most definitely longer.
Let's just start with the name.
Wade.
Not your name, the name of where you're from.
Oh, the name of where I'm from. I believe it's I don't believe it'd be anything well comprehensible in your tongue. But
I understand all tongues, so
well, the place I'm from is called Hollerim.
interesting.
He said that too fast. He had that. Remember, he had that ready. Oh no. This is an improv lore.
Holler. Interesting.
Yes. Yes, where I'm from, we are quite knowledgeable about what you call magic.
Hmm. And what do you call it?
Where I'm from, it goes by a different
Yes.
name. Here we call it, or there we call it Gen.
Oh. Well, here, the starlight shards control a vast majority of the magical power in our world.
That was that much is what I've figured. It seems like a very, very powerful magical object.
Indeed. And the thing is, we're trying to keep them out of the hands of people that we don't trust. And we don't trust you.
That's quite fair. You mentioned enemies before. Do you trust me enough to name those enemies? Give me
Of
a little bit of
course.
information on them.
I tell him of try to explain Epsilon without talking about his shadow possession, like how he has contracted a demon, how he had contracted one of our former members, Zalgrim, but Zalgrim was a deep state agent and was fighting for us all along.
Now, when you use this word demon, what do you mean?
Well, I guess from a different plane of existence, one where there's lots of fire.
I'm not familiar with any of those.
But are you familiar with other planes?
Takes another bite of his layer cake. Do you like layer cakes? Sin, you haven't taken a bite yet.
I can't really eat.
Understandable. You can at least taste it. Can you at least taste?
I don't think so. It's kind of part of the gig, I guess.
Kind of just like shrugs and like, sure. Takes his bite. You see, this is quite hard to explain, but this is why I got this. The way I see it, everywhere exists in layers, so to say.
Mm.
Like one reality on top of another. Not interspersed, not combined, separate. Just as this white chocolate is separate from the dark chocolate here. Now, I have to admit to being a little, well, how should I say it? Untruthful earlier. I mentioned how I'm not from, where I'm from is not on the map. That is true.
Right.
Fair. But if Tanorim, as he points with his fork to like the crust lower end of the cake, Tanorim is right here. I'm from, as he goes to like up near the top of the cake, about right here.
Interesting. And did you jump straight from the crust to the cream, or did you have to wait in between?
Oh, well, let's just say your crust was a little bit of a surprise.
Interesting.
Straight from the crust to the cream. And it rhymed too.
What a
And you
line.
wait in between.
What a line.
Interesting. So the powers at play in your world, are they familiar with jumping realities, or is this just you?
It's not necessarily jumping reality, so to say. Like I said, it's very hard to explain, especially someone who's never experienced it.
I have, so
Really? Which stratum did you go to?
whichever one the dead people go to.
I'm not sure if that's on the list. You've given me much to think about, though, so thank you.
Is there a realm of shadows
Like entirely of shadows?
where they're dominated by shadows, or at least more prevalent than this one?
Not that I've seen or heard of.
Is it possible that there's many that you haven't seen or heard of?
These stratum, as I just mentioned, are interesting. While you can say that they are, you can log them, you can record them, keep records, keep track of them. It's almost like trying to keep track of the stars. Sometimes you just find yourself happening upon a new one.
Well, interesting. So if this is existence is a beefy 5-layer burrito, then your stratum is, or not stratum, sorry. Then instead of our world being just a burrito, we're a Taco Bell.
I have no clue what relations you are making, but if it helps you understand, then absolutely.
Okay, I won't mix metaphors. My dish, my
Yes,
crust is different from your crust.
but we're both on the same crust. So no, not really. But
Okay, so
yes, my realm, my world, my
uh-huh,
place where I come from, is different
mhm,
than yours.
indeed. So is there closer to 5 stratum, like this cake, or is it closer to
More like pages in
looks
a book.
around? Interesting. And if you exist to document this, to write your book, tell your story, then what is our part in it? Are
And
we mere players?
that is what I'm still trying to figure out. It's clear that with these starlight shards, something big is happening. I'm just trying to figure out how big it is. Now, going back to what you talked about earlier with this trust, it is my turn to now offer a trade. For some of your trust, may I give you a story?
Sure thing.
Perfect. I'm sure you're familiar of the Radon here in Tanarim.
Indeed.
Yes, and so I'm pretty sure you're aware that, well, in their youth, in their adolescence, so to say, that instead of the bright colors that their skin eventually begins to show, they're unfortunately born as dull gray.
Can you repeat that? Sorry.
Um, adult Rhydons, they show, vivid, bright colors of red,
Right.
green, pink even, various different bright colors as their skin. But in their
Yes.
adolescence, when they're born, they're initially just a dull gray.
Interesting.
What's a Radon again?
Y'all haven't really interacted with that nation
Oh,
at
okay.
all.
Is it the Dragonborn?
No.
No. Okay, for some reason that's what I thought it was. Sorry to interrupt.
You said Radon?
What?
Radon? Is that what you said for the
Rhydon,
nation name?
yeah.
Right on. Right. Sorry.
I've heard the name. I remember
That's
us
a
hearing it.
place.
The Radon.
Yeah, it's a place. It's a kingdom nation that y'all
Okay,
really
sorry.
haven't talked about. Anyways,
It was in the Karu perspective.
it was. Well, Sin, the story I give, it follows a merchant from that place. Right? Now, this merchant, he comes from a house of merchants, so he was born up, raised in the trade, understanding, numbers and marketing and all such things needed to understand where or how to function as a merchant. However, he had one unfortunate side effect. Not side effect, more of a unfortunate characteristic of himself. He had grown up, reached the age of maturity, but he was still gray. He didn't show his colors yet. Now, naturally, this made him a little unpopular in the markets. If you think that people here are, prejudiced against ceruleans, then you clearly have not seen an uncolored Rhydon try to function in a social environment. There, nobody, barely anyone, would give him a time of day to buy any of his wares. Now, obviously, that wasn't too great for him. He had a hard time making money, putting food on the table, providing for himself. So, naturally, this merchant, Bream, we'll call him, Bream tried to find other means to get some money, right? More questionable means. If nobody's buying from you, sometimes you have to make opportunities for yourself. He didn't see it as a morally bad thing. Instead, he mainly just thought, well, I'm doing what needs to be done. So he went about making shady deals with questionable people, but the money would come in, and he would be able to survive. One day, though, he's going about the market, trying to, I guess, meander his way into maybe another deal, which he can turn to himself, when he comes across a group of investors. Now, investment has always been a weird thing for Sin. Or not Sin, why'd I say your name? Bream.
It has been a weird thing.
Yeah. Investment's always been a weird thing for Bream. He would never understood it. The act of giving people money or receiving money with the trust that you'll give it back to them. Didn't make sense. But this group of investors he came across, one thing struck him about this group. And you know what that was?
What?
They were all colorless. Gray. Dull. Just like him. Now this shocked him, obviously. How could someone without colors be acting so in the open? Investing. Having actual people come to give money. So naturally, he thought, something's up about them. So he joined the group. He joined them, tried to go in, tried to understand them, see what was beneath the surface that was bringing so much lucrative money. Unfortunately, as he was trying to figure it out, two things happened. One, he found nothing. Everything they did was honest. Simple investment. And that confused him even more. Secondly, he, well, quite literally, got fired. He no longer had a job and was, well, unemployed, and from that unemployment came a lack of money, from the lack of money, homelessness, and next thing you know, Bream was wandering the streets with nothing to do. As he wandered, he thought back to that group, trying to understand how they could be so successful in a world that would hate them. He couldn't find an answer. Eventually, years passed, drifted from place to place, trying to make ends meet, and by make ends meet, essentially not die. And slowly, as he finally drifted from city to city within Raidan, he returned back to his original place, kind of making a large circle. And when he came back, he found that group again. The same group of investors. They were still going strong, getting investments, earning money, albeit not too much, but enough. But something changed about them. All of them had shown colors. People who were gray and dull now shone brightly with blue, green, yellow, making dazzling display as they worked about their investments. Now, Bream, being down on his luck, he thought, well, why not at least try? Why not just ask to see if he could get, if he could come back? So he did. He walked up to them, fully expecting them now, fully showing their colors to shun away someone who's uncolored and still has yet to show themselves. But they didn't. Instead, they welcomed him fully, gave him some work, and soon enough, Bream was there, making money with them. Finally, after he turned this over in his head a lot, trying to understand why they would do that to him. And as he began to make some more money, get himself a home again, get back on his feet, he saw a little splash of color begin to show on his arm. Kind of just wait, then kind of cocks his head, shrugs a bit. So what do you think of the story?
I think it's beautiful.
Oh, thank you.
What's the moral you're supposed to get from it?
Ah, yes, the theme. I forgot to add that part. Always the most important. Well, I'd say from that, just because others have shown their colors before you, doesn't mean that you never will.
Interesting.
And
I think
Sin,
I found my color.
Sin, I would like you to take 7 points of temporary HP.
Aw. That's so sweet. You're so inspiring. A leader, even.
I'm no leader, trust me.
I want to do an experiment with you tomorrow.
Experiment.
You may be more of a learner through stories, but I'm more of a learner through hands-on experience.
Fair enough.
We have ways to get the Starlight Shards in our hands. I
Okay.
want to see accessing your knowledge. If I can go to a new dimension, a new stratum.
Oh, well, I can already tell you right now that's not going to be easy.
Well, just like your Dragonborn friend. He didn't do what was easy.
Oh, I think
He
you're...
did what he had to do.
Fair enough. We can certainly try. As he'll finish his cake, kind of set down his silverware and begin to grab his bag. You mentioned that you have your color, Sin.
Indeed.
Have you shown the others your color?
Oh, I'm not so sure about that yet.
Well, neither was Bream. He'll stand, grab his pack, sling it over his shoulder. It was quite nice to have dessert with you, Sin.
Indeed.
And he'll turn it with that, and he'll turn on his heel and walk out.
And he stuck me with the bill. Ah! I turn invisible and leave.
Everyone else, you've had your turn. Havel's helped you out, aiming, shooting. At this point, I'd probably say y'all like gone through like what, 12, 15 bottles.
It starts to get like people like have started to go on and is like, all right, now it's my turn to try to block it.
Block it?
Yeah.
What is it you have to block?
It's my spear, my Albert.
Shield?
I reckon if I swing at the right time and I know where you're aiming, I could probably slice it in two.
You probably could, but Tombstone, I don't want to risk it.
But how else am I supposed to train if you turn against me?
Tombstone, I won't
he's
turn
got a point.
against you. I won't turn against you, Tombstone.
But we've been talking about trust, and how can I trust someone I can't take on one-on-one in a fight?
I just don't think that's what trust is, Tombstone.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Yeah.
But still, I think it would be cool.
Now, are you gonna try that again?
What if?
Probably.
What if somebody else shows up with one of these boom machines?
I don't think anyone should, but if they do, I'll beat them.
If you have one, then well, who's to say somebody else can't have one?
Sure.
So I gotta learn how to defend myself.
You could always force them to you. It would impose a disadvantage on them for getting close to you.
The terrain around my halberd is rather disadvantageous.
Amen. Very true.
Mako. Make
Huh?
the lower drop.
Yeah. Yeah, huge lord.
Yeah, y'all got a bunch
Anyways,
of freaking lore drop.
it's probably late. We should probably go to sleep and
Plus,
pick
I
this up
think
tomorrow.
I think the fireworks stopped. If I shot now, I think it'd draw attention.
Oh, that would be bad. Not that I couldn't handle a couple of unwanted attention, but
Sure, we're good at drawing attention though.
too good. Too good at drawing
Mhm,
attention
mhm.
sometimes.
All right, so y'all are turning it in for the day. All right, so y'all turn it in for the night. Each go to probably like, I guess y'all didn't really have rooms, so to say. So you can, I'm sure y'all can find a few empty rooms though to rest in for the night. Wouldn't be that hard. So if y'all want, so y'all can take a long rest now.
Woohoo! Level up.
Take it.
So y'all take a long rest, wake up the next morning, and as you get up and, you know, go about your morning routines, out the windows of your rooms, or as you walk out of your room, kind of looking out across the kind of the sea that y'all are now in from your boat, you see the Serratus Mountains begin to grow closer and closer on the horizon. Now very stark as they kind of take up a good fourth of the sky in front of you as y'all are drifting closer. I'll say Karu will walk up to some of you, I guess, as y'all are just kind of congregating in the morning. And you'll say, well, looks like their first tour, so to say, is going on this afternoon, right as we kind of reach near the coastline next to the Serratus Mountains. It's apparently some historical tour. I'm not exactly sure what they're going to be touring or going through, but yeah, it'll get us on ground, and we'll be a lot closer to the Serratus Mountains from there, so we can make the rest of the way from that. Sound good to everyone?
Mm-hmm.
Not really, no.
All right. Well, unless you have a better plan, then
Oh, I wasn't talking about having a better plan. I was just talking about the plan in general.
you're right. We are getting closer.
I didn't realize how close those mountains were until I saw them this morning.
Fair enough. I didn't consider that.
They're a lot larger than I remember.
Yes, and as the boat kind of draws closer, and as the mountains get more into your, I guess, more clearer as they get closer, you'll see the super jagged and rough peaks of the Serratus Mountains as they start to line the sea of stillness that y'all are sailing through at the current time.
So sits down and does some breathing exercises. Pulls out like a hatchet and starts carving into the deck of the ship.
Are you stressed, Tombstone?
That's an understatement.
Can see that. How could we alleviate the stress?
I don't know if that's possible at this point. I'm having second thoughts.
Why?
I don't know if we should do this. I don't know
Why
if
not?
we're strong enough to do this.
I'm going to give the obligatory Thunar here, saying something about the promise y'all made him. Y'all, you made him, because that's entirely what he would say.
I just. If I die, who cares?
I would care.
I'm just getting what I deserve. But you all have nothing to do with the sins of old Tombstone, old Jariel. I get that you've made such promises and such, yes, we should help out our friend, but this is beyond anything that you would owe me a favor for. I can never and will never be able to do enough for you to have you face this. This danger seems too great.
Tombstone, if you had the chance to go back and defend your tribe, and protect them, and to save them, would you do it?
Without question.
And, well, I seem to remember, well, at one point in time, after a certain duel with Dragonborn, that my good friend Tombstone said that we are his tribe. Well, and if I'm not going to have the same devotion to my tribe that you would have to your tribe, then, well, what kind of person would I be? You're not just somebody who follows us around, Tombstone. We are your tribe, and you are one of us. So it would matter a lot if you died. And it matters a lot that this is something that needs to be done to save you and end this curse.
Tombstone's shoulders like tense, relax a little. Still tension there, but like at least a little bit more calm. All right then. If that's how you feel, then well, we should carry on then.
Sin, are you with them?
Yeah.
Then someone will round the corner. Ah, there you are, Sin. Well, you ready for a little experiment? As he walks up, and instead of the kind of nice like vest and shirt that he was wearing before, he has a little more casual clothing on, with a gray cloak, a kind of more casual kind of red and gray tunic on, still keeping to the color scheme, of course. Still holding a kind of pack over his shoulder as he walks up. Oh, good morning, everyone else. Hope y'all are having fantastic starts to your day.
I have an experiment, guys.
Okay. What kind of
Me and
experiment?
Wade went out for dinner last night. Or, I guess, dessert. He
Purely
shared with
platonic.
me some... he wishes.
And now I'm
Some
purified.
very interesting things. And I found a way to possibly... I don't know how to say it other than just walk between the worlds. And if I can do it, Epsilon can do it. If he can do it, points at Wade, Epsilon can do it.
Do what now? Walk. What are you talking about?
Who in the what now did you just say? Worlds with an S, as in plural?
Indeed. I don't need y'all to understand it. I just need to try something. I would ask if you trust me, but that's also probably not the best idea either. So I just ask you to watch.
Okay.
I need a shard.
Absolutely not.
I don't need to go anywhere with it. Just need to do it right here, somewhere private.
As long as he, and I'm going to point to Wade, is anywhere near us, absolutely not.
What?
He's not a villain. It'd be much cooler if he was a villain, but no, he's not a villain.
Then I would love to just take your word for it, but I can't. There's no way that we could trust this guy. You just go to one dinner, he smooth talks you with a couple of words, and that's it. You're just gonna take him at his word like that?
You have every right to be paranoid. I'm paranoid as well, and I don't trust him either. But I would like to use a shard to try something that may help us all.
Colton's waving.
It has nothing to do with Wade.
Yes, but the one asking about.
Thunar, he's done it. You've done it. Anyone else touch the shards?
But you're putting them.
If I hate to so rudely interrupt, but if you would like me to walk away, there is something I need to do, so I can come back later.
I'm fine with that.
Fantastic. I'll be right back. As he kind of like quickly turns around and rounds the corner very quickly.
This experiment of yours doesn't need him, does it?
Doesn't need him, no. His source of information would be helpful, but now it's suspicious that he's walking away. Or he's walking away because he thinks I'm going to explode the entire ship or something.
Look, just here. I'll let Sin have one from the bag. I don't want him anywhere near any of these things. I don't understand how you guys keep just deciding to trust this man.
Don't trust him. I'm trying to exploit him for his power. Come on now.
Allowing him anywhere near the shard, visibly, obviously, if he's after them, he could just take it from you. Well, at least he would try.
No, he couldn't.
Well, he would at least try.
I'm pretty sure we could overpower that frail little man.
I don't want to take any of the chances that we don't have to take.
Well, you invited him to come adventuring with us. If anything, that was the biggest chance you could have taken. You're
Well,
asking us to spend more time with what could potentially be a throat-slashing murderer.
You make a good point. That was a little bit lapse of judgment maybe in my frustration last night. But then again, the rest of you seem to run to trust him right off the bat. So
Sin.
I'd like to
Carter will
hold
ask,
the shard. Okay.
what do you want to do with the shard? Like, what is your goal? And what information
like
could he
to-
have to help you?
He can walk between worlds.
what do you mean worlds?
At will? Like, yeah.
It seems pretty at will. He may not have the ability to overpower us, but he has some kind of cosmic skill that even if he couldn't harm us, we definitely could not harm him. He seems above the need for the Starlight Shards. So,
So what is he, some
if
kind
he
of
has that kind
deity?
of power, I wouldn't say
So-
deity, but something that is immortal, for sure. Or at
So-
least very lucky.
So you're
I don't
telling
believe in
me that this person who knows all this stuff about us and is interested in these Starlight Shards who we just all thought said that we probably could take him if he ever decided to try something, if we were right to not trust him, is able to do something that not even Aegis, one of the most powerful mages of our time in existence, couldn't do at all, not even close. Travel between dimensions, worlds.
Yeah, and pretty easily too.
You do understand that makes it sound even worse to have this out anywhere in like a large vicinity of this person now, right?
Indeed, but if I can use this power and walk between worlds, maybe I can access some of the same power, come back and fight against Epsilon. Or we could go hide these things in another world where they don't have power.
Yeah, go try do your experiment. I'm so confused now. Finally, just like kind of like sits there and puts his head in his hands.
If it's any consolation, Phelan, the whole reason I decided that I would in quotations trust this character purely because he didn't seem like a bad guy.
I know. I'm not saying that he seems like a bad guy. That's the problem. He seems like a good guy. But he's not the first
I
person to seem like a good guy and not.
I want to point out that the last time we encountered this Aegis, I did not trust him, even though he seemed to be on our side. I have a feeling for these kinds of things.
I want to trust your feelings, son. I really do. But just do your experiment. See if this walking between worlds is even a feasible thing. I'm starting to think this guy might just be crazy.
All right, I'd like to hold a shard.
Mm-hmm.
Try to follow the purple strand and I don't know how else to say it, but return to my death.
Okay. You roll me an Arcana.
Can I cast Bardic Inspiration on myself? Like, is that a possibility? Other than yourself. Dang it! 7.
7.
Mm-hmm.
So you try to access this shard. You try to draw upon this power as Dunar and Phelan have described it to you before. And
I roll
as
some
you
sucks
reach out to it, and as you try, quite honestly, you don't know what they're talking about. It's just a rock. It's just a glowy rock. At least it feels like to you.
All right, I might need to.
Do we still have two, or did I give one back tomorrow?
Did you give one back tomorrow?
I'm just asking if I did that. If you remember that I did that, then I just couldn't remember.
I don't remember you saying that.
Okay.
Now
okay, I
she
think
did
we
leave
have.
for Oldreach, so if you wanted to give one back to her, I'll let you do that.
No, it's fine.
Okay.
I couldn't remember if I had or not.
No.
Okay. I mean, I'll hand him the second one.
I try again.
Alright, I guess roll me Arcana again.
There's no way. There actually is a way. It's 1 in what? 20 times 20 chance.
Did you roll a 3 again?
1 in 400. Or 1 in 4,000. What is it to roll a 3 two times in a row?
It'd be 1 in 20 times 1 in 20, so 1 in 400, yeah.
4,000. 400? 400.
400, yeah.
Sorry. It's on me.
So you rolled another 3.
Yeah, I throw them back to Phelan and I storm off looking for the guy. He lied to me. This mother. He lied to me. Because it can't be my fault. It has to be his.
Well then, Carl will say. I guess let's get ready for land.
May I step off to the side just a little bit? Not really like away from everybody, but just kind of just taking a couple steps away. There's an itch. It hasn't been there for a while, but there's an itch. Because there's the potential for new knowledge. I feel would also like to try to
Roll Arcana.
see about it. Now, he's thinking more along the ways of teleportation and things would be more similar to some sort of planar travel. And so trying to pull upon his knowledge of that as a basis.
Roll Arcana.
14.
14. So you draw upon the shards like you've kind of been practicing for a bit. The those kind of lines again just kind of flash in front of you. Not so flash, more just grow in front of you. You're used to it at this point, nothing new. And as you try to think, you kind of try to push, nothing really comes up. It's like you're reaching about in the dark and your fingers aren't hitting anything.
I'll just kind of shrug my shoulders, put the shards back in my bag, and start getting ready with everybody.
All right. Soon you'll find Wade making his way back to you all, as you all kind of come together now, and well, people are starting to group up for this kind of excursion to the shore.
All right, how did you do it?
Excuse me? How did I walk away? Well, it's quite easy. I have these legs that are quite handy for doing such actions.
If you tell me how to walk between planes, stratum, whatever, I will tell you how I came back to life.
Well, I would love to do that, except I can't. Well, I can because I know where to go. Point is, I don't know where to go here.
So you got here through one door, but you can't go back through that door because it's locked. So you have to go find another door to try to get somewhere else.
That is surprisingly a perfect way to describe it.
Well, let's work together to find a door.
This group just keeps getting better and better.
I need you to quit doing shady stuff like walking away and saying, I have business. Tell us, like, hey, I'm going to the bathroom or something like that.
Okay, fair. I'll take that into consideration, but I'll raise you. I'd like to be more honest with your people.
You want me to be more honest with my friends, or you want... I'm confused.
Your group. You said you haven't shown them your colors yet.
Oh, they know my colors. I was lying to you.
Fair enough.
Do I need to roll deception if I was deceiving?
I mean, if you want to.
Just kidding.
And so, as people start to kind of gather up, they like have these, those little like excursion boats kind of pulling up on the side of the boat. As one of the so like there's a couple people there, and one of them's kind of announcing and talking to everyone. It's like, well, if you're wanting to go on the history kind of tour shortly, we'll be leaving soon. Here you'll find interesting sights, dating back all the way to the war sickness years ago. We'll be finding Cerulean ruins. Yes.
Do Do we get cool hats? I heard tour groups sometimes wear cool hats.
No hats will be provided.
Do the tour guides have cool hats?
He looks like he just jots his eyes up toward his like bald head. No.
Dang it, this is a crappy tour.
And people start to line up to get in these boats. And Karu will probably get one for all of you guys. So all the entire party will kind of get into one. Entire party plus Wade will get into one boat. As yeah, like one of the I won't say tour guides, just like someone working for the ship will kind of go in and start to lower you guys down into the water and start rowing you toward shore.
Can I sit? Is this like a boat with like benches, basically?
Yeah.
I would like to sit on the bench that is across from Wade. I would like to face Wade.
Okay, he'll be sitting there, like holding the strap of his sack, looking around. Look at you, kind of like make eye contact with you, just wave.
I still don't trust you, Wade.
That's fair.
What does Sin mean when he says that you said you're not from this world, or that there's other worlds?
Oh yeah, that's like I said, like I told him last night, kind of a hard question to answer. The short of it, because it seems that we don't really have that much time. Short of it is, well, there are different realms around, and while I was slightly, only slightly, mostly truthful, only slightly deceptive, just more of not telling you all the information, I'm not from this map because I'm not from Tannerim.
Okay. Then what are you doing here?
Phelan, do you like layer cakes?
I walk up to tell him the story. I just give him the lore drop. I just walk up, interrupt, tell him.
Okay.
Sorry, if you wanted a layer cake, I'll buy you one. Sorry, Phelan. I just didn't want
No,
you
no,
to
just... Why are you on our plane then? If you're from one way up here.
Because I'm a traveler, storyteller.
Bullshit.
Boring.
No, those bulls aren't from this realm. They're from another one.
I'm not even ask.
What is this bull you call?
All right. So you're here traveling and storytelling. So you're a fucking tourist in Tannerim, is what you're trying to tell me.
Yes. Who knows? Who knows a lot?
Why Tannerim then? What's so important about coming here and trying to figure things out?
Because it's
If
new.
there's other worlds exist, what do you mean it's new?
Well, like I explained to Sin before, trying to document and log and all these other different, realms, realities, planes, stratum, whatever you want to call them. Whatever word is appropriate for this one. It's very hard to do because, like the stars, you just happen to find a new one.
That makes sense, but I don't like it. Phelan looks like he wants to get mad and say something, and he's like,
I can tell you a story if it'll make you feel better.
I don't think that
No.
it would. So, are you the only one doing this plane walking or whatever?
He kind of shrugs. At least where I'm from.
How long have you been here?
Year and a half, 2 years.
Okay. Are there shards on your realm?
No, that's why they're so interesting to me. That's entirely. I've never seen anything like that. The worker for like the ship who's like rowing y'all is like looking between y'all like super uncomfortable as he's like trying to like speed up the boat to get to shore quicker. Soon the boat will kind of like brush up and hit shore. As Carl will get up. All right. Look off to the mountains, the Serratus Mountains that are now very close, like within a day's walk.
Tombstone walks to the edge of the boat and like goes to put one foot up on like the edge of the boat and like looks like he's about to jump down into the water and then just like freezes.
Do you?
Carl will walk up. Tombstone. You said you'd follow me if I beat you, correct?
Yep. Yep, I said that indeed. Mm-hmm.
And Carl's gonna put his foot on the edge of the boat and like in a big lunge, like just hop off to the shore and begin walking.
Tombstone will like turn around and like clamber off the side of the boat. And start like unsteadily trudging on the beach.
I hate sand.
What's the weather like here?
So weather like it's a very sunny day. The wind is kind of blowing, giving a nice kind of like breeze from the sea and the water into you. So it's a nice kind of cool breeze. Salt in the air, obviously.
We shoot the sun.
It's everything we wish Houston was.
Exactly.
So not humid.
I mean, it's
no
a little
Mexicans.
humid. You're like right next to a giant sea, so
But
Not
it's the nice humid.
yeah, it's like the nice humid, not like
Yeah,
the
it's
horrible
like-
armpit
It's like
humid
50%
that like Houston
humidity.
is.
No Mexicans. No dirty
Whoa!
streets.
Whoa!
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 We need them for food.
Oh, God.
You need them for
Tex-Mex.
Seb.
Can't tell
Seth's
if
watered
we're
down.
eating the
If
Mexicans.
Seth
or
is
they're
Mexican,
feeding us.
he's a hard shell taco.
The Mexicans are eating the Mexicans are eating the cats and dogs, and we're eating the Mexicans.
What?
What?
The recording's gonna go
Asians eat
crazy.
pets too.
These the
Oh,
recordings
we
gonna go
record
crazy.
these? Oh no! I'll be right back.
And he left. Gosh. Yes, for all our listeners, that is
Thought that
No
was a sound
alligators.
effect.
Oh my
I
god.
really did think it was a soundboard.
Little soundboard thing. That's crazy.
Is he not coming back?
You know,
He
You
holds
never
on to
know.
those bits for a while.
you never know. But we're just gonna keep going.
Sorry, I had to ask what the weather's like.
No, it's fine. That's fine. Valid question. Valid question. And then yeah, so the other boats will kind of come up the shore as people start to unload, and the same kind of there he is.
Sorry, I got hungry and decided to cook.
fair enough. The same kind of person announcing things will kind of go before kind of walk in front of everyone and begin explaining the historical importance of this area. He says like just over there is where the Cerulean people were first found, and you know their civilization that was then ravaged and destroyed, that marked the end of the war sickness.
The hood is up.
And then he just brings over the entire ball over there. Like that's where the first settlement around the Sea of Stillness after this the discovery of the Ceruleans were made, and just kind of starts pretty much expositing a bunch of history as you're walking forward.
Tombstone has his face like set in like a determined face,
Mm-hmm.
and he's like staring at Karu's back. He's like squinting his eyes, staring at Karu's back, and he's just like following Karu step by step,
And you'll
like not looking anywhere else.
Karu will stop, look around, kind of like,
Tombstone runs into his back.
oh, there you are. Hey, Tombstone,
Yeah,
where are we going?
I don't know. I was following you.
Well, now we need to follow you.
Oh, that's gonna be a problem.
Why's that?
I All right, nope, we're good. We're good. He Tombstone like looks out from behind Karu. Looks around, grabs some of the dirt, sprinkles it in the air. It's sandy dirt. Holds his finger up, like licks it, like feels where the wind's coming from. So from here, trying to get my bearings, this would be where the Sandy Tooth clan was, because the sand, of course. The fishing, and then
Does the sandy tooth imply that they ate stuff from the sand, like in the sand with the sand, and so they got it in their teeth?
No, they were just dirty.
Oh, okay.
Like, well, they fought dirty. You know, like type of like throw sand in your eyes, kind of dirty. Also, they frequently hunted sharks.
Oh. I didn't know there were sharks in that water.
Lots of things you don't know about these mountains. Dangerous place.
Now the image of a kobold riding a shark. Next character idea.
So we need to go that way, and I point like deeper into the mountain range.
Is there? You said this is kind of like the area where like the Ceruleans like place used to be. Is there like any sort of magic essence remnant or anything around in the area? This is, I mean, it's very interesting because this is the Phelan's ancestors. That's an 11.
Advantage.
24.
That's So kind of realizing this, you didn't notice it because it was gradual. But as you travel closer into the Sea of Stillness and closer to this kind of area, yeah, it has kind of gotten like more thick, more dense. Kind of just like the humidity is dense, just kind of it's thicker around you.
How about the line? How about the lines?
Kind of putting your hands in like your sack and kind of holding one of the shards and looking at the lines, not being obvious about it, just a little more discreet. The lines haven't really changed. They haven't really, at least appearance-wise, they don't look any different. But still, just like the atmosphere almost around you just feels more thick and dense with magic.
This place is intriguing and very unnerving.
Alright, and so you keep on trudging toward these mountains. Right? So slowly y'all will kind of break off from like the tour group, so to say, and start heading deeper in the mountains. As you begin to break off, one like attendant person will be like, excuse me, we're not supposed to go into the mountains.
As if you could tell me anything about these mountains, blasted tour guide. What do you know about these mountains that I don't? Why should we stick with the tour?
Be,
You're just probably not going to show us all the interesting things.
be, he just like tries to like voice objections, but just like,
One thing. Name one thing you know about these mountains.
They're dangerous.
As if I didn't know that already.
Listen, man, I'm just being paid. Like, it's just my job.
Okay, so why do you care?
Kind of shrugs, like, oh, I guess it doesn't matter. He's like, just come back and don't get
I feel
killed.
like you can go now.
You're dismissed.
He kind of just like, okay, and just goes back to the other group.
Now that
Back to
that
the group.
imposter of a tour guide is gone, it will allow me to take over his role.
And you start marching. Tombstone, I'll say the route that you're taking kind of follows a river that kind of like goes from the mountains down into the sea. So you're kind of following around the banks of this river as you approach the mountains.
Do I know about, from where we are, about how long it would take to reach? I think the place I'd be leading them would be to my village,
Yes.
right?
Yes. That about like a day. Like if y'all are fast, I mean, you as kobolds, you're able to do it in about a day and a half. So if they can keep the pace of those of y'all, then about a day and a half.
All right, strap on your hiking boots. It's gonna be a walk. Perhaps about a day journey, maybe two. It's a little bit ways up the mountain. You good with that?
All right, lead the way. Kara will say.
Tombstone will start leading the way, and then every couple miles or so, he'll stop and on a trail and look for signs of other life in the mountains. Probably trying to keep an eye out for other tribes, markings or stuff like that.
Roll a nature check for me.
Yeah.
And anyone can do this, by the way.
So what?
Nature check. If you want to roll a nature check, go right ahead.
Yikes! The dice have not been in my
Phew.
favor. That's a 3.
Nature check. 17.
Natural 20, woohoo.
Ooh.
20.
So
Tombstone is too afraid of these mountains right now to notice.
yeah, all you're noticing are the landmarks that would direct you back home.
Yeah.
You don't really notice anything else. Havel, you've been in mountain ranges before, right? You've done some training in those, some mountain training, right?
Done some of them.
Yeah. And so at one point, you kind of stopped for a quick rest. You take out your canteen, right? Unscrew it.
Seth,
Yes.
I will say, the mountains are my favorite terrain.
Does that give you advantage?
It gives me advantage on history and stuff related to
Intelligence?
Hold on, let me look. I gotta read this. Your proficiency bonus is doubled for proficient skills when you make an intelligence or wisdom check related to it.
It is an intelligence check. Nature is intelligence.
Okay, I'm gonna roll again. Ha, that's an 18.
All right. Then at one point, you all stop to kind of do a quick little rest. Havel unscrews his canteen or water skin and starts filling it up in the river. Tombstone, you also go back down and you kind of start to drink from the river as a short little refresher. And it hits you,
I
Tombstone.
picture
What was that?
AD.
Okay, you were saying you picture him leaning down and lapping up like a dog.
Yes, like the
Yeah.
two. I'm drinking it and he's.
No, I just stick because I have a snout. I just stick my snout in the
Yeah.
river.
Yeah, he's not.
Tombstone,
making
you
any
realize
noise.
at
I'm
first,
gulping water like a horse.
this water does not taste the same.
He's Gideon's warrior.
That's exactly.
Like, you know this river. You drank from it plenty of times, but you do not remember it tasting this oddly. Havel, you kind of dig down. You take a swig of the water, right?
Mhm.
And while you don't think it's strange, you think, oh, there's not a lot of minerals in this water. As if like there's no metal, no
I
minerals,
verbalize
nothing.
that. This water has got nothing to it. There's no minerals in this. That is so strange. You'd think being in a mountain range.
This
minerals.
water is odd.
It is
Doesn't taste
odd.
the same as it used to.
Must be liquid.
Hmm.
What do you mean by that?
I don't know. I don't know what it means. I just know that it doesn't taste the same.
Well,
You're saying it like doesn't have minerals?
no. It's very flat.
I don't know what could cause that. Let's keep going anyway. Anywho.
Bye.
Would I know what causes that, Seth?
You would not know. You just know that there is like no
It just makes no
minerals, no
sense, 'cause
metal,
that's just not how
no
it
metal,
works, yeah.
no nothing, and you're like, that's weird. Like that's
Mhm.
odd. Especially coming from a mountain.
Yeah, hypothesis time.
And so y'all keep on walking. I'll say the sun starts to kind of get a little low. So if you want to take a what?
No, I have halo tops.
Oh, okay. So if you want to take a long rest again as you kind of make camp for the night, you can do so.
I'd say we'd stop here. Find a clearing for us to bed down in that's pretty sheltered, and we can build a
Yeah.
fire in that doesn't give off smoke or firelight. Dig
Right.
a little trench.
Yeah. I'll say as you've kind of gotten closer now, are probably like in like because there's no really foothills to the mountains, at least on this side. So you kind of just went straight into the
Mhm.
mountains itself. The trail that y'all have been like kind of the path y'all have been going went from like very just flat to very steep very quickly. So y'all been doing a lot of uphill climbing, kind of doing like the zigzag method as you go up large little rifts and cliffs and crags in the mountain range. Until you finally find like a good little clearing, kind of small flat spot that you can make camp in, with a place to not at least give off as much light and smoke to notify anything around you.
During this entire trip so far in the day in the mountains, Phelan has walked behind Wade and like occasionally it's just like stared at Wade, and in
Glared
both
at him.
like it's either looked like he's sitting there looking suspicious, or he just wants to ask him a question really bad, but then he stops himself. It's just kind of been back and forth with that all day long, as he scribbles in his notebook.
And so as everyone sits down, and kind of like camp's starting to get made, Wade will look over to Eitri. Eitri, how are you faring?
Yeah.
How are you faring so far? You are my favorite after all. I kind of got caught up in a bunch of other stuff with, your buddy Sin here and Phelan asking me about stuff. But how are you?
Well, physically I'm doing great.
Oh, I'm so glad.
But mentally, well, have you ever seen a dragon?
No, not really. I've heard tales of them. I've seen what people call the dragon, only to be sorely disappointed. So, I think this will be a first for me too.
Well, then we can conquer our fears together then.
Are you scared of dragons, Eitri?
As I'm looking up at him, I just have like a facial expression kind of like, what do you think? Like, look how short I am.
Fair enough, Eitri. Yes.
Just so I nailed it. um, but yeah. Other than that, I think I'm doing good. If I'm gonna be in this situation with anybody, I'd rather it be with this group of people.
Yes, this does look like a good group, doesn't it?
Well, it's not just looks, but looks can be deceiving, but it's the journey that makes it count,
Mm,
makes it worth it.
wise words, Ichi. Wise words.
Thank you.
Ichi,
Yes.
have you heard of a story of the insect and the spider?
Oh, you mean Charlotte's Web?
Oh, yes, very, very, very much close to that story, actually, if I think about it.
Uh, well, I've heard of that one. I don't know of any similar ones.
Well, you see, there's an insect I found at one point. I called them little men because, well, they quite simply looked like little men. They have a very long, arduous, scientific name that I later found, but I like the little men a lot more.
As do I.
Well, there was one little man I watched as it kind of crawled. Unfortunately, didn't walk. It crawled as most insects do. Crawled along a rock as it was searching for food. Right. Unfortunately, this rock was the home of a large spider, and well, the spider often likes to feast on little men, like this one right here.
Eitri gets this very frustrated expression on his face because Eitri has just a very deep hatred for spiders,
Oh yes, I
and
know.
it's never really come up yet. But yeah, you can tell Eitri just absolutely wants to murder the heck out of that spider.
Oh yes, that's perfect. You'd make a really good little man for this story. Anyways, acting abilities regardless. This little man, as he went around searching for food, he came across the spider's web.
Uh-oh.
I know. Unfortunately for him, the spider was not there. But he was very careful, of course, because he didn't want to get caught in the web. But still, beyond that web, he found the exact food he came for.
Well, good for him.
Yes, but there was only one issue. He needed to
Getting
get
back out.
Exactly, getting back out. He could get in just fine, but he needed to get back out. So, what did this little man do? He went back to his home, got more of his friends. And now, not just a little man, but a little men, all crawled up and trudged up back to this web. Thankfully, again, the spider was not there, and using, well, some intricate things that little men can do, they lowered our character in the story into the food. He grabbed it and, using a sophisticated system, was able to get all the food out. Then he just crawled back up with his friends and bypassed the web entirely. Now, unfortunately, at this point, the spider did come back and had realized that the little men had been stealing his food and was quite unhappy. But there was one thing about little men that I haven't really mentioned yet. And that is they can carry a lot. And so before, this little man was worried that he wouldn't be able to face a spider. But with about 10 other little men around him, he thought, why don't we just carry it? Pick it up and not put it back down. And that's exactly what the little man did. Picked it up, took it back home, and next thing you know, spider was on the menu. Just like that. Simple.
Did the spider not defend itself?
Well, it tried, and well, admittedly, a few little men were so violently lost in the process they ultimately prevailed. I guess all I'm trying to say is, even though you might be going up against a large monster, almost beyond your comprehension, and there might be fear in if you're able to defeat the monster, it's a lot smaller if you realize you're not alone.
And you were calling my words wise.
Oh, please. You barely know me. If you got to know me more, you would definitely not call my words wise.
Well, even if that's the case, they were just now. And what you said is true, and it's a very good point that I think I needed to hear, and perhaps some others as well. Especially, since we're about to be the so-called little men, one of which I am the littlest.
Yes.
But hopefully, we are more successful than the real little men, and hopefully we don't lose any in the process. But looks like we'll be having dragon on the menu.
Looks like we might.
Delicious.
Are these little men just ants?
I was thinking the same thing.
I didn't even think about that.
Phelan doesn't have the rest of the. This is not really paying attention to the point of it. He just heard little men and heard all this description was like, just freaking ants.
Like I said, they look like little men to me.
Yeah, he really doesn't say wise words. He just says, like, he was right. He's not wise. He's just like, he's just telling stories and somehow making it sound all fancy.
You think that ants is a long scientific name?
There was a petition to change fire ants' names to Spicy Boys in like 2016.
I would have signed that. I
Wow.
would have signed that.
I did sign it.
Spicy boys. No, not the spicy boys.
Watch
I
out!
got so
I'm
many
getting
Spicy
bit by
Boy
a
bites.
spicy boy.
There's a
I stepped in a Spicy Boy
Yep.
net.
spicy boy hill right there.
Dude, I hate spicy boys. They suck.
Oh my gosh.
They keep biting me.
Crawling up my I take my pants off.
Oh.
I love that.
Wait,
Yes.
how similar is your world to ours?
Define similar, as in like laws of physics, air, things like that.
Everything in anything and anything.
Well, the map's certainly different. People here are a little nicer. Food's not as good though. I'd say if I were to try to put it on a scale, about 40% similar.
Does magic work the same way for you?
Phelan, you grossly overestimate me. I barely understand how your magic works.
That makes two of us. How does yours work?
Oh. Mine's a very complex system of a little bit of luck, a little bit of knowledge, all around. Most people don't really try to worry about it because, well, it's quite rare.
Rare?
Rare, yeah. I just happen to be one of the lucky ones.
So magic isn't the same across worlds?
Oh, by no means.
Okay. Fearlessly writes notes.
Well, now that I've properly astounded 2 people tonight, is there anyone else who'd like to join them?
Not astounded, I'm just confused.
I'm pretty sure I confused Tombstone there, so if we're kind of confused, I'm pretty sure I'm still up to 2.
I never get confused. What is physics?
You see Tombstone as he kind of reaches into his sack. If I take something like this, pulls out a little small little tin cup, and I drops it as it clinks to the ground. Do that. That's called
Right.
gravity. One of the core things in physics.
I call that falling.
Same thing, different name.
Why would one thing need 2 names?
That's a
Never
great
mind.
question.
I take that back. I have like 15. So
He reaches down, grabs his cup. That's physics. Essentially, is studying how this, drops it again, does that. At its core.
yeah, so like if I drop this really heavy rock and I drop this other smaller rock, the really heavy rock reaches the ground first, right?
That's what you'd think.
That's physics.
Well, let's see. What happens?
Tombstone finds a big heavy rock, a little small rock, and he goes and drops them. What the?
Like I said, people study this.
How the? Doesn't make any sense. He picks him up again.
Now I've properly astounded 2 people. 3 people now. As he kind of puts the cup back in his pack, moves it to his back of his head. Just like, I think that's enough for tonight. Settles in, and you can all take another long rest if y'all haven't already. As you wake up, make me a perception check.
Weight's gone.
Huh?
16.
Why? I rolled a 1.
Oh,
But wait,
25.
I'm in my
By the way,
favorite terrain.
favorite terrain. Let's go.
The only time I can ever use my favorite terrain. That's a 23.
Oh my gosh, it's crazy. All right.
25.
Okay. And so as you kind of wake up and start to, start packing up camp, Wade's still there.
What do I notice?
Wait, what did you roll?
16.
16. All right. If you rolled a perception check and if you got above a 15, so 15 or above, then as you kind of start to pack up, Havel and Tombstone will be the first to notice this. Y'all will hear a splash from the river.
What did the splash sound like? Did it sound like a big one? Did it sound like a...
No, it sounds like someone
Or
like
did it-
wading through the water.
That was a really good drop.
Havel's going to ready his fanning, his EOTech hand cannon.
And as you both spin, and everyone who gets it looks over, you see this kind of like shorter figure, kind of like backs to y'all, going kind of like about knee deep in the water, as he's like it's kind of leaning over and like splashing it slightly. You don't really can't really see what it's doing, but it's in like some like dark robes, hood up.
Is it short?
It's shorter, yeah. I say dark
I
robes. It's
wanna-
like
No.
brown robes.
I want to sneak up
no.
on this character?
Like Tombstone short?
About.
That's what I'm questioning. While Tombstone is sneaking up on this character, he is like
Roll
we see
stealth.
him like plain as day, right?
Yes, if you got above a 15, and then you could point him out to everyone else.
I'm going to point him out to
So
everyone
that's
else.
a
It's like,
17.
Havel's
Alright.
going to yell, "Halt! Who goes there?
So as
State your business."
as Tombstone's sneaking up, you yell out, "Oh!" and he like shoots his head up and like turns around, and as it turns to face you, it seems like this like super kind of like robed, typical like just homely sort of robes and attire around it. As it has a hood up, as it turns, you see a little green scaly face turn and look at y'all. Like with and it like looks, shoots his hand, like throws its hand up as it drops like a wooden, a small like thin little wooden bowl that splashes into the water, begins to float down the river.
State your business.
Just kind of stands there and
Do you speak common?
ah,
Getting somewhere.
points at the river.
Water.
It nods.
Tombstone will pop out of the bushes, and in Draconic, he'll go, "What's your name, friend?"
Kind of steps back a bit and like puts his hands like this, like plead, like in a pleading.
What's it
Motion.
saying, Tombstone?
Is not saying anything.
Is it mute?
I don't know.
What are you? Are you holding your weapon, Tombstone?
Yes, like that. Oh, Tombstone.
I probably like was, and then when he didn't seem threatening, I probably lowered it to like my side.
Okay, but you have it out.
Yeah, it's out.
He'll like look down at your weapon, notice it, and like start to like increasingly do this.
I will stow my weapon away.
It almost seems to like think, and like begins to like beckon.
I'm going to join. I'm going to down a bit cautiously.
It like nods and like beckons more. Karu will walk up. Havel?
Yes.
Tombstone? What's going on here?
So we have.
Is that a kobold Tombstone?
I look closer inspection. Can I? Is it actually a kobold?
Roll perception.
Yeah, that's what I'm figuring. 14.
Looks like a kobold.
Seems like a
Just
one of
green
mine.
scales.
Not from my tribe, of course. We had red scales and orangish color.
Does this creature seem to have a lot of magical energy?
Roll Arcana.
10.
None at all. None that you can find. It kind of like, Havel, you said you walked up to him?
I said I'm cautiously.
Yeah, cautiously
walking
approaching.
up to him.
Roll insight real quick.
Yeah. 23.
You see, as it like beckoning, it like looks to everyone, but it's looking at like everyone's weapons, and like even at like some of the things y'all are wearing, and says like beckons more enthusiastically.
Can you speak?
It shakes its head.
Do you understand us?
It nods.
Can you write?
Cocks its head.
I would like to cast a message.
Okay.
Can you understand this?
It jumps a bit, recoils.
You can respond in your mind.
It shakes its head. No response comes.
Ugh. Damn it. This
Yeah,
creature-
I'll call out to him and be like, "Show me your tribal crest."
It cocks its head. At this point, it'll take off its hood and like kind of reveal itself a little more, as it's a kobold-looking creature with green scales.
Not gonna lie, fellas, this is weird waters. I haven't been in these mountains for a long time, so things might have changed around here. So
It like trudges to like the opposite side of the river and like kind of shakes off the water in its legs and turns back and like beckons y'all again.
I'm going to go towards. I'm going to take-
Tombstone will like hold out his like halberd to
to
like stop you from following him.
Okay.
I don't know if that's a good idea.
Okay.
You
As
think-
I mentioned before, the things that live in these mountains serve the dragon.
I
No
understand.
matter how harmless he may be trying to seem, he probably doesn't have our best intentions at heart. Because if I was in his shoes, I would be leading us straight into an ambush.
Is this common for kobolds to not be able to respond?
No. In fact, I would have said many words to attempt to lure a traveler into my lair. However, that is me. It's my strategy. May not be his. Who knows why he can't speak? Maybe he's just stupid.
Well, what direction do we need to go then? Tombstone,
You quickly realize the same direction he's beckoning you.
What if we were to intentionally spring the trap, if there was one?
Well, then it wouldn't be a trap.
Exactly.
It'd be a face-off. With the wise words of Thunar.
You still didn't answer my question. Which way are we going?
Oh, yeah, about that. We gotta go that way. And I point.
So-
I point to the same way. I point the same way.
So we should follow him.
Yes.
Okay. And so I'm going to start walking forward to meet
Oh, boy.
this thing.
This is gonna end so badly, isn't it?
Oh, it's gonna end so poorly.
It like enthusiastically like nods as you start to like.
Does this thing look like? How does this thing's health look? Is it like
Oh, it looks
strong?
healthy. It looks healthy.
Okay, we're not dealing with like something that's gonna eat me.
No, we're not dealing with like a little like urchin.
He's
like,
not
scrambling.
feral.
Yeah, he's not
He's not
feral.
a feral midwife, no.
Yeah, no, he looks healthy.
So get across, like down to the kobold. Are you leading us into an
Do I-
ambush?
Do I have any like sort of history I could roll about kobolds with green scales?
Sure, roll it. Roll history. I'll say with advantage.
Okay.
I will insight him shaking his head.
Oh,
Good
like
thing I
it
had
nods.
advantage.
Oh my gosh,
Wait.
yeah.
You said it nods.
It
That's.
nods. No. So it's like it says, "Are you walking into?"
I
we
said, are
walking-"
you taking us into an ambush?
Oh yeah, no. It shakes its head. It shakes its head.
Insight, please.
All right, roll it.
I
15.
rolled a 16.
All right, for the insight first, because that's an easy. He doesn't seem to be lying. He seems to be genuine. For the history check, you do remember there being a green scaled tribe. It was the one located closest to Thumdarok, and where his lair was.
Mhm.
They were pretty much like in terms of mentality the exact same as you. But like, so if you were like, if this is like the layer of Thumdarok and y'all are like right here, it was like on the other side but closer. So like
Gotcha.
opposite to you but closer.
Yeah.
So you didn't
Other side of the mountain, but
Right.
like closer in proximity to the
Exactly.
lair.
Exactly. You don't know about anything that happened with it after the events of what happened to your tribe. All you know is that like their relation, that clan's relation to with Thumdurak was very similar to your clan's relationship to Thumdurak.
Are you taking us to the dragon?
It shakes its head. Wait,
Do
no.
you
It would cock its
serve-
head at that. Sorry, I got my...
What's the dragon's name? What's his name again? Tombstone.
I don't think we should say his name here. We can refer to him as the dragon that shall not be named.
The dragon that shall not be named. Ring a bell.
Cocks its head, like... and just emphasize, like, just... And it starts
Hey,
walking
hey,
off and, like,
you-
beckoning.
You, but bigger.
It just walks away, like, beckoning, like, follow, follow.
I don't think we're gonna find anything out from him.
No, not until he decides to try to slice our throats.
That's what I would do.
Yes, I know, Tombstone. So, Karu, should we follow the fairly obvious trap?
Well, it's going where we need to go. Like Thunar said before, if we spring a trap, then we know it's coming. Is it really a trap?
Yes.
It's
God, I
still-
hate this idea.
It's still a trap.
Be
Well, I
prepared
guess-
with those fancy fingers of yours, Phelan.
Yeah.
And remember, us kobolds are resistant to fire.
That's good to know. I didn't know that.
That's something new to me.
Okay,
So-
I'll keep walking.
Y'all keep walking.
Are we
And I-
following
I'm glad
this
you
thing?
trust and believe me when I say things.
Are
And
we
I'll
following
say,
this kobold?
Yes, y'all are following it.
Is it still looking excited? Is it like
Yeah, like occasionally, like
Scurrying
as
down
y'all
the
follow it, it'll like kind of like
I
occasionally
know
like look back.
Tombstone's probably
nod,
lying,
continue.
Bullshitting.
but like with everything else going on, it's just kind of like, yeah, whatever.
And so after a few hours of travel of it kind of occasionally stopping, looking back to making sure to make sure y'all are following, it nodding and like beckoning again, and then continuing. Tombstone will start to look a little more familiar as you get closer and closer, until finally, as you reach kind of a large kind of, I don't want to say plateau, but large flat area on the surrounding mountains, you come across what looks like a large village of just tents and other kind of tents, a few like wooden structures, not necessarily like buildings, just like wooden structures, just like wood propped up against each other. As the creature kind of stops, turns around, looks at y'all, and like nods, beckons and points to the village. Or tribe, if you will. Clan, maybe.
Clan probably be a bit better title.
Yeah.
I keep calling it tribe, but clan's probably better.
Clan.
So, Tombstone,
Yeah.
if we go in here and follow this thing, it's probably going to prepare, and these people are probably going to prepare us to sacrifice or to offer up to the dragon, aren't they?
There's a very real possibility that it's going to occur.
In 1 year,
I could see that. I could see that being a very real possibility. Yes.
2 days.
Oh, absolutely. Most definitely. Very, very likely to happen.
3 days.
The chance diminishes slightly, but I could see that the real possibility.
That's- Great office scene. I'm sorry, that's like my favorite one.
which scene?
All right. And I think there will be where we stop for tonight.
Mm.